friends, welcome back to Food Prep Guide. It is officially time to seed save some bunching onion seeds. I have been waiting for these to dry out on the plant as much as possible before I start taking them inside and harvest the seeds. And we are at that point where it is sufficiently dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop off the seed head right here. These are all the seed heads. Any time of the onion flowers, that's where the seeds form. And you can let them dry on the plant and harvest the seeds, which I'll show you how to do in just a minute. This is actually not very dry, but this one down here is good and dry. Nice and brown, some black spots. You can see the flower hole, you know, like around the seed is kind of papery thin. So this is the stage that we want to harvest the seeds at. I'm going to pull maybe one more because we're going to get, I mean, there's probably 40 to 50 seeds on this one head, so we don't need a ton. And I do want to leave several on the plant so that they can just drop down and produce more onions in this particular location for me next year, and I won't have to do any of the work. But I do want to seed save some because I would like to plant these, start another batch of these elsewhere throughout the garden. They're great for they're perennial plants, so they come back year after year. You plant once, enjoy harvest for years to come. But they're great pests prevention as well. They're not gonna, you know, they're not some kind of magic pest killer, but they do help lower the pest load of whatever they're planted near. So I'm going to get, I think this is good. I've got 3 bunches here. So we'll take these inside and I'll show you how to seed save them. Okay, we're back in the kitchen for the rest of the process. The first step we need to do is separating the seed from the dried flower covering. So we're just going to put our seeds. I have a bowl here and a strainer, and you can probably do this many ways. All we need to do is we need to rub the dried flower pods against a rough surface and just create some friction and go back and forth. And I find that the wire mesh of a strainer is great for this. So what I'm going to do, it's real high tech, y'all. I'm just going to take my hands and I'm just going to spin it around. And I'm just pressing the flower pods up against that wire mesh. I don't want to press down too hard because we don't want to crush the seed, but just enough to start getting some of that mesh or some of those seeds separated from the flower pod. Now I have a bowl here because already we're going to be starting to get some debris separating. Some of that debris is going to be small enough to fall through the strainer in this first step. Now in the next step we'll do it even further, but I'm getting ahead of myself, so let me just do this a little bit more. You can see it falling as we're doing it. Sometimes I can just shake it. This works for any kind of seed that is from inside of a flower. You know, like squash and zucchini and cucumbers, green beans, things like that. Those seeds are a lot easier to seed save because they're just right inside the fruit, and they're big and just a lot easier. But those seeds that are inside flower pods are kind of harder to get out. So this technique works for any kind of flower-based seed saving. Okay, I think that's about as much as we're going to get in this first step. Okay, so next I'm just going to toss this out into a bowl, just slightly off camera here, just to get it out of my bowl because we're about to need it again. So for this next step, we need to use airflow to further separate the seed from the chaff. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the seeds that were in the strainer and I'm going to put it in a regular bowl that doesn't have a lip on it so it can come out easier. And then we're still going to have our empty bowl here. Now what I have just off camera over here is a fan, and alternatively you can do this on a windy day. You can just sit outside, wait for a breeze, and do what we're about to do artificially with a fan. So let me turn this fan on real quick. I'm going to turn it on medium. And I've got a paper towel here just to show you about how high I've got the wind flow going, airflow going. Not too bad. We don't want it to blow super far But basically what we're doing is we're going to use gravity and airflow to separate the chaff from the seeds. So what we're going to do is we're going to slowly pour our red bowl over this silver bowl, and we're going to let that wind, the weight of the seeds should fall into our bowl, and the lack of weight on the chaff should cause that chaff to blow further behind us and not into our bowl. As I'm pouring, I'm going to shake slightly back and forth. Okay, here we go. Okay, and we're going to repeat this process 3 to 4 times. So I have maybe, I don't know, maybe like ½ an inch wide little pile of chaff over here. And we're just going to repeat this process. I'm going to try it one more level higher. I'm going to try my fan just a little bit higher and see if we get a better result with that. I typically do this outside, but it's just not a good day for it today. There's absolutely no breeze whatsoever. Okay, so I clicked it up a step. Let's try one more time. And even on a windy day, I still do this 3 to 4 times. Oh yeah, that's going to be better. It's already starting to blow out. Okay, let's do it one more time. I just blew a whole bunch of chaff into my bowl. Do that out real quick. And as I go, if I notice a big chunk of debris getting in here, I'm just going to rub that out of my bowl real quick. I just saw several chunks fall in here. And our goal is to get it 80 to 90% clean and clear, just seeds. But there is going to be some chaff left behind, and that's not a big deal. I'm going to do it one more time. It's just about where I want it. And I'm going to do one last final step, which I'll show you in just a second. Let's do this airflow one more time. Okay, I kind of did that one a little bit too fast. Okay, so the last step I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly pour this back into my red bowl and watch what happens. I hope the camera can see it with that chaff. Can you see those little pieces flying out? Like a bunch just went and flew out. Kind of shake it around. Tilt it. A bunch just flew out again. Shake it around. Let's tilt it. Okay, let's see what we're left with. Turn this fan off. I'm just going to go through here and just pick out any big chunks real quick. Can't really see that, can you? Kind of blocking it with my thumb. Can't tilt the bowl too much or all the seed's going to come flying out. Okay. Okay, and here is what we're left with. We have still some chaff, and I'm just going to kind of take my fingers and just hand pick through some of this. But for the most part, we're left with probably 80 to 90% seed. And that is how you can seed save from vegetables or fruits that produce, well, vegetables that produce the seeds within pods, like after they bolt. And now these black seeds will go into, I use old pill bottles to store my home saved seeds. And they go into just a little bookshelf that I have. Okay, y'all. Hope that helps. See y'all next time. Bye.